Good morning, guys. Hope all is well. I just want to share something with you guys really briefly before today's episode. On my road to recovery, as I was getting back into the swing of things and just started kind of facilitating my programs that I host, one particular thing stood out at one of the programs. And I still wasn't at my best, but kids know, right? So one of the young ladies, one of the young kids in the program, as she's coming in, I'm already there. I'm set up. Actually had my project manager with me to assist that day just so she could step in and help out because I know I wasn't completely 100%. Um, she says, Mister, like, what's going on? Where's all the energy? And so I kind of politely said, like, yeah, I'm doing okay. She's like, no, what's going on? I said, I had a little surgery, but I'm back. She was just like, oh no, Mister, where's your energy? So the program is going on. We start facilitating it. And unbeknownst to me, like she starts to write this card, right? And then by the time the program is over, before everyone leaves, she hands it to me. So I just want to share this because, like I said, kids, they paid so much attention. And this was one of the most powerful things that really, too, helped me kind of ramp it up. And because, I always say I show up for the kids. I show up for the people that I'm responsible for serving. So this is what she said. I hope you feel better. You are holding on right now and pushing yourself to teach us even after surgery. And most people might not think the way I am, but I want to thank you for pushing yourself in your state. And I'm very grateful for this and your action. It shows how much you care about our learning, and it makes me feel a more energetic. It makes me feel more energetic because you don't have to do this or be here, but you're choosing to. And that's what most people would misunderstand. I hope you get better and get your spirit back so we can lock in. And she even included the picture of the lock too. So very, very grateful for this. And the kids, they're so important to me. So, I just want to share that really briefly, and I hope you enjoy this episode.
Good morning. Good morning. We are here once again, live and in color here at the MooreMotivation camp. Man, we ready to go this Monday morning, man. We are fired up. And as I was saying earlier, we're not here just to try to change a couple of lives. We're trying to change the world with this thing.
For sure.
All right. So we're trying to take this to an elite level. I am the co-host, Troy Christopher Moore. We're here with the founder and the president, Mr. Kendrick Moore. Good morning, Kendrick. How you doing this morning?
Oh man, excited to be back.
Let's go, man. Come on, man. Let's go.
Away for a couple weeks, but man, y'all held it down with some unbelievable podcasts. Man, Broken Pieces, the DNA, excellent podcast. I appreciate you guys stepping in and stepping up and then showing off as usual. But I'm excited to be back.
Man, we are so super excited, man. Listen, we were grateful to be able to do what we do,
Right.
but it ain't the same. You know what I mean? So now we back doing it the way we supposed to be doing this thing,
right,
man.
for sure.
We're super excited about that, man. Glad to have you back here with us at MooreMotivation. And why not have you back when we're live and in color?
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah.
To all of our listeners, thank you once again for all your support, man. We about to lock in and get this thing going today. So today, man, we're super excited, but as we always do, we like to have a super shout out of some people, things that's going on in the community.
Yeah.
So what's the shout out that we have for today?
Yeah. So today, Troy, I know we are at the conclusion of our HLM scholarship, but I want to shout out because remember what we said before. This year is our 5th year, which means the first cohort of students will be graduating this year.
Man.
So I just want to give just from us, from the entire HLM crew, even from the audience members that support them, we need to give a final push to that crew.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
make sure they're finishing strong, man. I got a chance to send them some messages. As we say, our biggest thing is not even the financial part, but the support.
Right.
Send them some messages the other day following their midterm exams. So they're locked in on this home stretch, man. It hasn't been easy. Some of them think it was a quick journey. Some of them think it's like, man, when is it going to end?
Yeah.
But no, we wanna give that final push to that crew, man. Been so blessed to be around them for these years and supporting them. So that HLM crew, man, make sure you guys get it done.
Man, that's just phenomenal, man. And just to try to fathom, like, that was 5 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it
Right.
seemed like we just kind of got this thing going.
Right.
But it also just shows the consistency of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it also shows the support that we give these young people, man.
For sure.
They now about to embark in the world, man, and walk the
That's
stage,
right.
man.
That's right.
And to be able to say we're, even if it's a small part, a part of that.
Right.
You know, so when they walk the stage, man, HLM is walking
That's
the
right.
stage
You
as
better
well,
believe
man.
it.
So
You better believe it.
We're so grateful for that.
The legacy will be there.
Yes, man. So we're so grateful for that, man. Man, that's awesome, man. So now let's talk about last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? The feedback that we got last week. You know, even though you weren't on, but you still got a lot of the feedback, man. So share with us some of the things that was shared with you.
No, I think when they talked about the DNA, and it's so crazy, I didn't actually listen to it until, and it's funny because a lot of times I'm actually delivering the podcast, so I'm not the one, I never really listen to them always over again. But I happened to be going down to Trumbull last Wednesday, and I said, man, let me check out this podcast. Let me see what it's about, just so I can make the connection. Obviously, we put it out Monday, with the feedback that I was getting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you talk about some of the relationships you made with some of the common threads with how DNA just affects you in so many different ways, so many different, uncommon ways that you don't even think of.
Correct.
Because we all just think of DNA, like you said, of blood tests, etc.
Right.
But really just future decisions you make unconsciously, not even knowing that it's because of your DNA.
Right.
Right. And that was the feedback. So that part intrigued me before I even listened to it. And then I'm listening to it. I'm like, man, this is powerful.
Yeah.
And not just powerful, it's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
It's true. From, parents that may use alcohol and you've never, and then you find yourself being in that situation. Parents that do whatever the case may be.
Right.
When you have that lineage, that DNA, you find yourself doing it in the future and you're wondering like, man, why am I doing that?
Right.
So it's a very, very powerful conversation, man, the DNA. So I encourage everybody to listen to it if you haven't.
Man, that's awesome, man. We had a great conversation with that. And like you said, just some of the things that we start to do in our minds, like, why am I even doing this?
Right.
Not even realize that it's, the genealogy factor is tied to it through the DNA, and you start making decisions. So it was a great podcast, man. So now, man, listen, let's get this thing going. Like I said, man, we're not here to try to change a couple people's lives anymore, man. That's not where we're going. If we do that, that is phenomenal.
Right.
But we're really trying to go to the next, not even a level. We're trying to go to the next dimension with this, man. And it's all because of our listeners and the support we get. So what is it that we have on deck for today?
And I think that's probably why you chose this topic, Troy, when you talk about like, we got to impact as many lives as possible just with knowledge and information. Because when I sent a couple out to you, you said, no, do that one, to blink of an eye.
Right.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. Like just how quickly life can change.
Man.
In literally the blink of an eye.
Man, I am so ready for this.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sure, especially in the times we're living in now,
right.
I'm sure our listeners are going to be able to relate with
for
this.
Sure.
So talk to us about what we got for today.
And it was one that I kind of hesitated even sending to you because it's, it's the personal story. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, Troy? And it
Yeah.
was like, and I didn't really, I sent out information to kind of people who were specific and
Right.
who I want to kind of let know what was going on, but it's not something that I really wanted to make public. But
Right.
when you said, no, that's the one we need to do, then at that point, Troy, it's not up to me to tell the story anymore. I got to tell it. I don't have a choice.
Right.
But man, Troy, man, you talking about literally a couple weeks ago on a Monday, I go to work and I'm delivering on the junior achievement webinar, and I'm telling my story about different things that are going on. I navigate the day. In the evening, I go do my other workshop, working with a group, OPP. Had a leadership group that I was doing over there for 3 weeks, and just handling my business accordingly,
Right.
according to my
Right.
purpose. And then that next day, I'm having an emergency appendectomy,
Wow. Wow.
in the blink of an eye.
Right.
One day I'm helping others, and the next day I'm the one that needs to be helped, and so many things change in a 24-hour period. Like so much of not just my life, the people around me, not just the physical parts of life, but the way of thinking.
Yeah.
You talk about like in 24 hours, in the matter of 24 hours. So, man, like I said, it's I'm here now and I'm able to share the story, talk a little bit about that, but more importantly, it's for the audience.
Right.
To understand, really, you
Right.
can't be taking things for granted, because life can literally change in a blink of an eye.
Wow. And the thing about it is, when you talk about the, appendectomy, that's a major, that's not like, an outpatient, I go in and I leave,
Right.
that kind of thing. That's a major, major surgery,
Right.
man.
Right.
So definitely to go from, like you said, to delivering and to now, man,
Right.
that's
Mhm.
that's just amazing
Right.
to even be able to bounce
Right.
back in the
Right.
manner you did. So now you and I want to lead right into this. So you went from leading, pouring into others as you always do,
Mhm.
sharing people, uplifting at a high level,
Yeah.
to subtly being bedridden,
Mhm.
needing help. So what was the hardest thing about that immediate shift, not physically,
Mhm.
but mentally and emotionally?
Yeah, Troy, man, it was like, I think the hardest part was literally not being in control.
Mm.
Out of everything that was going on, because when you talk about the pain prior, it was, and man, the story is just crazy, Troy. I didn't even tell it all. Like, went from Sunday in a little bit of pain, and I feel it. I'm like, all right, I'm still going to the gym. Monday,
Right.
back at it. The morning I woke up and still delivered the things that I was just talking about. Then Tuesday I get up. Vanessa was like, listen, you just need to go to the doctor. She said, because your threshold to pain is high, so you're not really sure.
Right.
I ended up sending a message to Corinne. Troy, this is how crazy it is. I said, okay, Corinne down in Georgia,
Right.
and these.
Right.
I said, whatever Corinne tells me to do, I'm going to do it. That's what I said before I sent her that message.
Yeah.
I told her where the pain was. She said it could be a possible appendix. Go to the doctor right now. Like, go to the ER right now.
Wow.
She said, "Oh, go see the doctor and get the X-ray."
Right.
So I went, and sure enough, that's what it was. And as you mentioned, with the severity of it,
Wow.
so there's different levels of it, and if it bursts beforehand, you can be in serious trouble.
Yeah.
Mine actually burst during the surgery, so it was, glad I went at the time that I did,
Correct.
to avoid even more. But when you talk about being in that hospital bed and just the loss of control, like I'm usually the one showing up for people and helping people, but now I'm the one needing help. I can't show up the way I normally do.
Right.
And then that mental part too, starts to play a factor, a big factor.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of surgeries, but nothing like this.
Right.
It's just like injuries. So nothing like where it's the unknown to me.
Right. Right.
So now it's, man, am I gonna be the same? Like what's actually happening?
Right.
Especially when
Correct.
you talk about infection possibly and spreading the possibility of that and some different things that they told me. So that whole uncertainty, man, that is the toughest part.
Yeah.
I could deal with the physical pain.
Right.
It was really trying to get to a point where I understood where I was and what was going on, and trying to get myself to a point of being in control of the situation.
Right.
And not from a physical standpoint, but really, like you said, rest. Like from yourself, from everybody else in the family, God is a healer, all of the important messages. But I had to be in control to let that happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to get into a space to let that be comfortable and let that happen.
Correct.
So that part, Troy, man, because being there, you moving around fast, it humbles you quick.
Yeah. Yes.
You ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And having to sit there was tough. And finding a way to really get back to that space of control, man, it was a very difficult thing.
Yeah. I mean, it like I said, this is a major surgery.
Right.
You know what I mean? This wasn't something like, and I keep repeating that so people could really understand. It's not like you was whimpering out.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, oh man, you could have just got up and
Right.
did
Right.
this,
Right.
Like, this is something major that went on. So
Right.
I just can't even imagine the whole effect of, like I said, I've had surgeries too, but nothing to obviously that severity.
Right. Right.
But what I do know I hear from people who had like major surgeries, they kind of all say the same thing.
Right.
The physical part, man, I'm gonna get my body. It's gonna bounce back.
Right.
It's the mental and the emotional part that
for
is
sure.
kind of
For sure.
So you mentioned the surgery, felt different. Not just from a physical perspective, but because of the uncertainty around it, right? So how did you deal with the unknown when you didn't have clear answers about recovery or what was next?
Listen, Troy, that's the thing about life, right? And lessons. Because when you talk about the lack of uncertainty, the unknown, like I just wasn't sure what was going on. But life is tricky. Life doesn't just say and get you to understand uncertainty. It more so puts you in a situation or creates these situations that demand that you believe. It was you gotta believe to get through this.
Right.
So that's where I had to kind of dig deep. Like it was like this situation is causing something that I'm not really used to. It's demanding something out of me. And with that though, Troy, I'm be honest, I sent you messages. Obviously, the I didn't hear from one sibling, and that's because they didn't know.
Right.
But the messages from the siblings, from yourself, rest. Big Main came through, you know.
Right.
Kel sent the message. God is a healer. You know, April stopped at the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one of the most powerful things that happened, Troy, during though, and it has to do with this podcast and the messages that we deliver.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it to you afterwards. And this is when I got discharged, but I still wasn't. I was still not in a good space.
Right.
Peach, the oldest sister, Peach. I forgot to say, Elf came through the hospital.
Yeah.
When I first got put in. She came behind. I was sitting in a chair. She came behind me, started kind of rubbing my shoulders, rubbing my head, and this is what she said, Troy. Listen, I know it's tough, but the same thing you tell those people every week on this podcast,
Man.
you
Right.
better tell yourself right now.
Right. Right.
All of these lessons
Right.
that you talk to the people about every
100%.
week,
100%.
dig deep and talk to yourself.
Right.
Basically, let's go. Let's get through this right now.
100%. 100%.
So that situation that I was put in, like, demanded that I believe true. And I thought I believed the messages that we deliver.
Right.
That situation took it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like, if you want to see if they work on others,
Right.
use it for yourself.
Correct. Right.
Let's see if it really works.
Correct.
Because it's easy for certain people to try to convince others.
Right.
But when your mind is in a different space and your attitude is not the same no more and you're off key, can you use it to get yourself back on track?
Yeah.
So that part, man, Troy, was real critical. And I must say, when she said that, and after everybody else's messages kept coming through, all of the support, Vanessa, everybody's messages, I must honestly, that was the turning point mentally.
Mm-hmm.
That was the turning point mentally. That when you talk about road to recovery, yeah, it might seem like you're getting better, physically.
Right.
But that was the turning point to the road to recover mentally.
Man.
Yep.
Man. And just kind of piggybacking off of what she said, one of the things that I was saying is, with MooreMotivation, we just celebrated the 3-year anniversary not too long ago.
Right.
So I was like, man, you got 3 years worth of messages.
Yep.
Listen to. You got over 160 some messages to listen to. So, man, but that's powerful right there. That sometimes our strongest words are really meant for us.
That's right.
That's right. I mean?
Yeah.
So man, that's powerful right there. So now from someone who always, be there for others, strong for others, etc., leading, and how much was it difficult to allow yourself to be vulnerable, to accept help, and what did that teach you?
Yeah. That was a big part, Troy, and that was the hardest part. Because that's a part of identity, right? It's a part of when you start doing things, you start building up your identity. But it's important, and I say this to the audience, it's great to build up resilience for yourself, but you don't want to build up resilience against others helping you.
Right.
You got to make sure you leave that door open.
Yeah.
And allow people to come in and pour into you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all need that. And even as a person that, considers himself a leader based on what they do, being able to be vulnerable enough to let people in and listen.
Yeah.
It was critical. Our executive director came in, Troy, like the next day, he's forcing me, because here's the deal. That Monday, as I mentioned, when I'm on that platform, Troy, one of the message, it was more than the game. They had me telling my story. I was telling them about how we grew up, at the beginning of our story. And I was saying, like, one of the most important lessons that I learned growing up in our household was to show up. Like, one thing we're going to do as Moors is show up where we're supposed to be.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Whether we got to walk to work,
Right.
well, our siblings have done 30 plus, we're
Right.
going to show up where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Troy, you've been on calls remote in blankets, sick, with a headset on,
Right.
making sure you show up
That's
for the
right.
people.
That's right.
Yeah. We don't tolerate that from ourselves to not show up.
Right.
We're gonna and again, it's crazy that I've used these words before, because I would say to people, if I'm not here, something's wrong. If I did not show up, something major happened.
Right.
And like I mentioned, my executive director, he forced me to clear my schedule, because I'm like, yo, when I get out of this bed, I gotta go help people. He's like, no, I'm telling you, clear the schedule. You're not going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to listen.
Yeah.
I had to be vulnerable. I had to put the leadership, show up. I don't really call it an ego, but it is ego. I had to put that to the side for a second.
Yeah.
And heal.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to show. Because it's not just really about showing up. I got to be able to be at my best. Because showing up in that version, the way I was, especially the first couple of days, would have done no one any good.
Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It would have done no one any good. So that part was important, man. To really take a step back and just heed the words of the people that care about me.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's like you said, man. If that's one thing we're going to do, that's show up. We're and it's funny because I'm a person, I don't call out.
Right.
Right. And people in the department, everybody call out here and there, and it's nothing. Right. People call out. I called out one time, and when I came back to work the next day, you would have thought like, you know what I mean? Like Hiroshima just happened, because everybody was like, yo, you called out?
Right.
Is everything okay?
Right.
Is something wrong? Like, yeah, I just called out. Like, everybody called out. Like, they just expect.
Right.
So that was a powerful segment right there about, and to all of our listeners, about how important it is to not only show up, but to show up and deliver.
Right.
Part of it. So now when you look back at this experience, right, and how quickly everything changed and shifted,
right,
what was the biggest lesson you're taking from this, and what should the audience take from it before life forces them to learn these lessons the hard way?
Right. I think one of the first things, Troy, is make sure you're enjoying moments.
Yeah.
Like, am I truly appreciating moments? My life is just always on the go. Like, I'm always going. I don't like to think I'm rushing through things. I like to feel that I'm appreciating things that are happening, but maybe not so much. But what I learned is if you don't pause, life will pause you.
Correct.
If you don't sit and take a break and pay attention, life will.
Yes,
life will do it for you.
Yes, it will.
So that's very, very important. To make sure that we understand. And then also just understanding like the unexpected,
Mm.
you know, like something can happen at any time. And we have to be grateful every day.
Yeah, we do.
You know, be very, very grateful for what you have, the opportunities that you have every day. Because the unexpected can change everything in the blink of an eye.
That's right. That's right.
So those are two things that I say I definitely took from it. And, you know, being able to share that with the audience, you know, I just want to make sure they're aware of that too as they're navigating their journey.
Wow. Powerful, man. So now we come to the conclusion
Yeah.
of this podcast. And I think, you know, what you had said earlier about our niece, Corinne,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very important that you talk to us as we get ready to conclude
Mm-hmm.
about the importance of listening to your body.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
like you said, if you'd have just been like, oh man, I'm all right, and
Mm-hmm.
that thing would have burst
Mm-hmm.
like while you home
Right.
or on a road driving.
Right.
Now we're talking about something really
Right.
serious, right?
Right.
So talk to us about the importance of getting in that space to even want to listen
Mm-hmm.
to your body.
Mm-hmm. And Troy, I think a part of it too, in one of the podcasts, I don't even know if we did it, but there's one I've been thinking about for a long time, was called the pain threshold. With how much we endure, how much we can take, how much we get used to. So physically, I've always kind of been that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I didn't even want to, I was intentionally not trying to listen to my body say, oh man, you're hurt, something's wrong. But because I've been through so much physically, you know, I know sometimes things just come and go.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things subside.
Right.
Like I've had multiple hernia surgery, you know, but I've also had situations where things felt like hernias, but it was maybe like a pulled muscle.
Right.
The way people talk about the excruciating pain of the, you know, when they have, you know, the appendix issue, the appendicitis, mine just wasn't, it didn't feel that bad, you know,
Right.
as painful.
Right.
Though it was painful, it wasn't excruciating pain. So it wasn't something where I was just like, I can't move, I need help right now.
Right.
It was like, let me see if this will subside a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, and keep on going with my day just because I was used to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was listening to it because over the course of days, it didn't get better, it got a little worse. So I was listening to it. And it caused me to, at the very least, take the next steps and listen to people that were around me. Like I said, Vanessa was, no, this ain't right. This has been multiple days and your
Yeah.
pain threshold is high. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Corinne said, go right away. Just go. Just because the potential of what it could be.
Right.
So, you know, and people say like, oh man, you got to take care of yourself. And I'm thinking like, man, and that's the scary part too. I would like to think I eat pretty good.
Right.
I go to the gym multiple
Correct.
times
Yeah.
a day. So I think I'm probably at least what I think.
Right.
I am taking care of myself.
Right.
But that's one of those things where it's like, man, it happens to anyone.
Anyone.
Young kids, you know, middle-aged people, you know, older adult. It's just something that can happen. So, but as you mentioned, listen to your body. You know, for us, for the audience, if something's not right, my brother, you know, Anthony, he's the, you know, the father figure, you know, aunt, uncle, aunt, you know, whatever we call him.
Yeah.
He used to say that about the cars, Troy.
Yeah.
One time when I asked him about it, he said, just listen to it. You know, you could tell if something wrong with
Right.
it. You
Right,
know,
yeah.
just listen to it. You know, he's
Yeah.
old school. Just
Yeah.
listen to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing with your body. Your body is your vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Listen to it. You'll know if something's off. You know, based on what you're doing every day. But the key is to pause.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I didn't do early on, but I did that day. Hold on a second. Give myself a chance to kind of pause and really pay attention
Right.
to what's going on here.
Right.
That's the key.
Yes, it
Because
is.
when this fast-paced life where everybody's so busy, it's easy to keep going.
Yeah.
And like I said, one of the people that I was talking to, their brother had the appendicitis. It burst prior. They were in ICU for 28 days following.
Wow. Wow.
So when they're telling me this, Troy, in my mind in the hospital, that's when me and you were going back and forth, and I was having a tough time because I'm thinking like, man, what if I didn't pause and listen?
Right.
What if I would have
Right.
waited a little longer?
Right.
You know, the potential of what could be.
Mm-hmm.
I could possibly still be in the hospital.
Right.
And the way infections are, you just never know.
Yeah.
Where, I would probably need, far more, I was obviously need far more treatment. So definitely that listening is critical. Listen to your body, take care of yourselves as much as possible, because, we would want it to be for good reasons. But man, it's scary to think what could have been. But I do know that life can change in the blink of an eye. So lock in.
Man. Listeners, thank you so much, man. We like I said, we are here. We're back. More motivation. LL Cool J said one time, don't call it a comeback. Man. We've been here for years,
Yeah.
man. So we're so grateful to all of our listeners. You could check us out, Spotify, Podbean, More Basketball website. Thank you for tuning in this week. And as always, send us your feedback. We love to hear from you. We build future podcasts off of your feedback. And we just want to make sure that you're doing well. Share this podcast with others. And eventually, please listen to your body. Take care, everyone. Have a great week.
I just want to thank my son, Kenrick Moore, for dedicating his life to helping our youth. I know it's a tough task, but keep up the good work with More Basketball Clinic. I'm proud of the man you have become. I love you.